Chelsea today hope to welcome Reece James back into their squad against Arsenal but remain without 8 injured players, plus multiple further doubts. The club captain could return from a layoff of more than 2 months with a hamstring injury to play in the London Derby at Stamford Bridge on Saturday evening. Mauricio Pochettino must decide whether to risk starting James or play Malo Gusto, who has returned from a 3-match suspension. Chelsea suffered injury setbacks to Romeo Lavia, Carney Chukwuemeka, and Trevoh Chalobah this week. They join Armando Broja, Christopher Nkunku, Wesley Fofana, Ben Chilwell, and Marcus Bettinelli on the sidelines. Nicholas Jackson has had minor surgery on a wrist injury sustained against Brighton last month and faces a late fitness test. James and Axel Disasi are in the same boat, but Cole Palmer is thought to have recovered from a knock over the international break. Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo are ready to play despite returning from South America on Wednesday evening following their international fixtures for Argentina and Ecuador. Predicted Chelsea 11: Sanchez, Gusto, Disasi, Thiago Silva, Colwill, Caicedo, Gallagher, Fernandez, Palmer, Jackson, Sterling. Injuries: Broja, Chukwuemeka, Chalobah, Lavia, Nkunku, Chilwell, Fofana, Bettinelli. Doubts: Jackson, Disasi, James. Bayern Munich ace Jamal Musiala is attracting attention from Premier League big hitters. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United target Jamal Musiala has reportedly been penciled in for contract talks with his current employers Bayern Munich. The midfielder has already played 133 times for Bayern, despite only turning 20 this year, and is said to be attracting interest from a whole host of clubs. Musiala, who has won 25 caps for Germany and started all 3 of his country's matches at last year's World Cup, moved to England as a youngster and was part of the Chelsea Academy for 8 years between 2011 and 2019 following a 6-month stint with Southampton. But he opted to move back to his homeland to sign for Bayern and went on to become the youngest player to appear for the club in the Bundesliga when he made his debut as a 17-year-old in June 2020. He then became Bayern's youngest ever goalscorer when he struck during an 8-0 thrashing of Schalke 3 months later, before Matthias Tel stole the record in 2022. According to 90 Minutes, Bayern intend to open talks with Musiala next year. The young star is currently contracted to the Allianz Stadium Giants until 2026 after penning his current deal in 2021. And Munich are very confident that the midfield genius will commit his long-term future to the club. If Musiala does opt to remain in Germany, he will have the perfect collateral to negotiate improved terms, as a whole host of clubs are desperate for his signature. Liverpool have been keeping close tabs on Musiala, while Manchester City are said to be huge fans. There is further interest from Arsenal, United, and Chelsea, with the 5 Premier League clubs all asking to be informed of the player's potential availability. Reports in Italy claim Juventus would consider a swap deal for Chelsea, and Arsenal target Dusan Vlahovic. It is no secret that both clubs are likely in the hunt for an experienced striker to take their side to the next level. While Nicholas Jackson is viewed as one for the future, an underwhelming start to the campaign has not convinced Chelsea he can carry the goal-scoring burden right now. From Arsenal's perspective, signing a prolific bagsman is viewed as the final piece of the jigsaw to clinch the Premier League title. The Gunners have spent around £400 million on new arrivals in just over a year, but rely on Gabriel Jesus or Edin Nketiah to lead the line. Buying a ruthless goalscorer would place the cherry on top of a world-class squad Mikel Arteta has assembled at the Emirates. Italian transfer insider Gianluca Di Marzio revealed earlier this year that Juventus would have considered a deal involving Romelu Lukaku. The situation for Vlahovic is that Juventus tried to do the swap deal with Chelsea, but it collapsed, and now they don't have Lukaku to get in this deal, the Di Marzio told the website Inside Sport. They are trying to let Vlahovic play and try to sell him in June because if he plays and scores, he will have international suitors. I don't think Juventus will sell him in January, but they will listen to offers because at Juventus, at this moment, they listen to every offer they get about their players. Suggestions of a potential player plus cash deal have been echoed by Italian outlet Tutto Juve, who name Arsenal and Chelsea as interested clubs. The report claims both London outfits are willing to meet Vlahovic's €80 million, £69 million, asking price outright, but possible swap deals may be explored. Real Madrid are also listed as targets, with the La Liga giants yet to replace Karim Benzema. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis admits he cannot do anything about Victor Osimhen's future if the player's mood changes when signing a new contract. The 24-year-old's contract with the Serie A champions expires in the summer of 2025, and extension talks took place with the player's agent during the summer. However, for various reasons, the deal could not be completed and the relationship between the player and the club deteriorated after Napoli was ridiculed on social media for missing a penalty. Longtime suitors Chelsea are closely monitoring the situation and waiting to see whether Napoli can convince Osimhen to extend his stay in Sicily. If new terms are not agreed, it is likely that a move will be mooted in 2024 to help Napoli recoup the highest possible transfer fee. 90 Minutes understands that intermediaries are conducting due diligence on Osimhen's behalf, and this has led them to contact the Premier League's biggest clubs. In addition to Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool have also been negotiating, but there is nothing further at this stage. De Laurentiis has now publicly admitted there was little he could have done if Osimhen didn't want to commit to Napoli, telling reporters, "I've never been calm when it comes to Osimhen, but there has to be you two just got to tango. I'm still staying. Likewise, if his mood changes, there's not much I can do. If after a handshake things change, it's disappointing, we'll take that into account, but life goes on. We have a good relationship with him, the contract is valid until 2025 so there is time. Don't forget that I sold Koulibaly at the last minute. A refund of €4 million for the participation of our players in international matches, even if there are always at least 10 players called up." Chelsea continues to be linked with Sporting CP defender Ousmane Diomande. The 19-year-old has become an important player in the Portuguese club's first team and his performances have attracted the attention of top clubs. A report via Fixture states that Chelsea are currently leading the race to sign the talented young defender. Arsenal and Manchester City are also still interested in the player. Chelsea need to find a quality long-term replacement for Thiago Silva, and Diomande could be a great addition. He has the potential to become a top defender in the coming seasons. Someone like Mauricio Pochettino can bring out the best in him and help him realize his potential. Arsenal could also use more depth at the back. They signed Jurrien Timber during the summer transfer window, but he suffered a serious injury in his debut. Gunners need to have more options at hand. Manchester City are also monitoring their situation. It is understood that the defender's transfer could cost around €50 million, and it remains to be seen whether Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester City are willing to pay. They have enough resources to complete the deal. Diomande is an extraordinary talent and can justify a long-term investment. He has what it takes to succeed in English football, and he could become a key player for the above-mentioned clubs if he joins them.